Thanks, Andy and Mike. Good afternoon. It is my extreme honor, again, to be able to introduce a good friend of ours who will be accepting the award on behalf of his father, George Stavridis. George Stavridis, and I can't do him justice, but our next speaker certainly will, entered the Marine Corps in 1942. Born Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. He served about 30 years exactly, I think, to 1972, not only serving in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam as a decorated veteran, then going on to head up the Marine Command College. He then segued, interestingly enough, into academia, where he headed up the largest community college in the country in Pittsburgh for many, many years. But I was struck as doing some research at the words that his son gave at his memorial, and they were touching and they were fitting. He talked about his father as a teacher, and he said that his father taught him 4 things in life. Number 1, he was a great tennis player, but I would expand it to say to look out for your health, because if you don't have your health, you have nothing. Sound mind in a sound body, the ultimate Greek ideal. He also taught his family about the importance of family. They are there for you in thick or thin, in good and bad, and this stuck with Jim and his siblings. Third, he discussed the need for patriotism, to give back, duty. That's what this day is all about. As a soldier for 30 years, one can ask no more of one in duty to one's country. George Stavridis embodied that ideal. Finally, he taught the family to be optimistic. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But even the most hardened cynic understands that in times of darkness, in times of demagoguery, you need a certain innate optimism. We are an aspirational society in this country, and teaching your children, your junior officers, your enlisted men to always have hope, I think, is an amazing gift that you give someone. So I can't think of a better person to expound upon this and the career of his father, George Stavridis, than our good friend Jim Stavridis, who himself clearly embodies his father's teaching. A decorated veteran, one who's given for years to this country, and now easily segueing into the next part of his fabulous career as head of the Fletcher School at Tufts University. It is my great honor to introduce, accepting the award on behalf of his father, our good friend, Admiral Jim Stavridis. I've got to give that to you.
Well, good afternoon. First, I want to begin by thanking the family Monatos for this brilliant idea of continuing to celebrate Ohi Day. I want to welcome all of the fellow award recipients on behalf of their families who are here today. It's an extraordinary collection of connections to patriotism, to Greece, to the United States, to the ideals that we all hold so very dear. Jim Chanos, thank you for that gracious introduction and for bringing back the words that I spoke just about 15 years ago when my father passed away. And he was, in addition to all that Jim has illuminated for us, he was intensely proud of being a Marine, being a U.S. Marine. And throughout my life as a young man growing up, I would see again and again that patriotism, that love of service, that dedication to the country that flowed through him, and it led me to my own career and my own experiences in life. He was deeply, profoundly proud as well of being Greek, of being Greek American. And when, as a young boy, I moved to Greece because my father had sought and won an assignment at the American Embassy in Greece. This was in 1963. I was 8 years old. I met my beautiful wife, Laura, who's here. She was 3 years old at that time, and her father was likewise assigned at the embassy. So in addition to all the other reasons I have to be happy and proud to be Greek and Greek American, the best of all is meeting my wife, Laura, when we were children in Athens, Greece. My father, my mother watched that relationship develop, and it also became part of our family's lives. When I think of my father, above all, I'll think of the things Jim mentioned, his fundamental optimism about the country, his deep love of the nation, his patriotism, his pride in being a Marine and being Greek American. And fundamentally, Jim touched on it in the athleticism. I'm going to expand it and say my father loved his life. He enjoyed being alive every single day. That's a pretty good lesson for all of us. And I think his favorite author, and I'll close with this, was Nikos Kazantzakis, well known to all the Greeks here, Nobel laureate, most famously wrote Zorba the Greek, but many other brilliant books. On Kazantzakis' tombstone are 3 sentences. I fear nothing, I want nothing, I am free. That's my father. Thank you very much. A pleasure to receive this award.